Release the Kraken!
Welcome back, fellow game designers. In our last tutorial, we went ahead and created Luigi's arm, and in this one we're going to make his hand. So stay tuned. First thing we're going to do off the bat is save our work, so we'll hit save. And then we're going to make a copy, so save scene as. And this is going to be Luigi 6. There we go. Now I'll go into my front view. And I will drop in a cube. Hey. Get this up here. Okay, we'll go ahead and just size this up, bring it right about where my finger's going to be. Let's go to our polycube settings. Let's grab the height, middle mouse and drag. It's really good. Let's see for the depth here. Let's see for the width here. Let's go ahead and grab that, middle mouse and drag. And I'll make that roughly hand-sized, like so. And then from our top view, I'm going to jump up to the top here. I'll just center this with the arm. And then we're going to use our depth to get the size here. Alright, I'm going to jump into our perspective view. And here we go. So this is roughly the size of our hand. And we need to make some cuts into here for our fingers. So I'm going to come down to our subdivision. Let's see, subdivision depth. I'm going to go ahead and middle mouse and drag. And that's 1 cut, 2 cuts. That gets us 3 fingers. We want 1 more. So there are 4 spots, 1 for each finger. Now our fingers are a bit squished. So what I'll do is go into vertex mode. And I'll go to my foreview. I'm going to select this bottom row of vertices here, like so. And then in my perspective view, I'm going to drag the arrow up just to kind of square these off. Now I know that doesn't quite match here. We're going to make the fingers and then we'll make them match. Okay. So this is going to be a bit easier to get a consistent finger shape. I'm going to go into face mode. And then I'm going to adjust these just a little bit so that each one of these rests a little bit different in the hand. Because if you look at your hand, your index finger rests a little bit lower than maybe your middle finger. And your middle finger might rest a bit higher than your ring finger and then your pinky. So I'm going to use my hand as a reference, but you can use yours. I'm going to go ahead and grab the middle finger from right here. Remember, this thumb is going to go over on this side. So this will be the middle finger, this is the index, ring finger, and then pinky. I'll go ahead and just pull that one out a little bit, like so. And that should get a nice resting position for each finger in a natural position. And then I'll hit Q to turn off my tool. Then I'll go ahead and select each spot here. Very good. Come up to the extrude tool. And I'm going to go ahead and hit the box. That's going to change my widget. And I'll go ahead and grab the box in the middle. I'll drag that back. And if I come into here, you can see that these are attached. I don't want these to be attached. I'm going to come over to keep faces together. I'll go ahead and click that to off. Like so. Awesome. Now that I have that, I can pull those forward just a little bit. And that'll give each finger a little bit of extra space before I pull them out into the world. Go ahead and extrude one more time. Hit W to get the move tool, and I'll go ahead and just pull these out now. I'll go to the top view. That way I can kind of see these, and you can see that each finger has its own space, which is awesome. I'm going to bring these out some distance, and again, you can use your own hand as a reference. You'll see that your index finger is going to be a little bit lower than your middle. If you look at the knuckle here, a little bit lower, a little bit higher. And in my case, my ring finger is actually a little bit higher than my index, and then my pinky is lower than my ring. So I'll come in and grab the index finger here. I'll just pull that one back a little bit more, like that. Looks good. And then I want to flatten these off, because at the moment, the angle will make it difficult for our fingers to bend. So I'm going to go into our perspective view again, and I will grab the index finger. I'll hit the R key, and then I'm going to scale in the direction of the finger. So I'll scale, and that'll flatten it. And I'll do that for each one, just to make sure they're good and flat. Okay, and now I can make the next set of knuckles. So go ahead and hold Shift and select each one. And be careful not to grab anything extra. Should just be the fingertips. Okay. I'll hit Extrude again. I'll hit W. And then I will pull the fingers out some distance. Go to the top view. Looks pretty good. And then I'll do it again. Extrude. And then you can pull the blue arrow, but sometimes it gets weird. So I prefer just to hit the W key and pull straight out. Now the last knuckle, or your fingertip in this case, is going to be a little bit shorter than the rest of the finger. If you look and bend each section, you can see about how big each piece is going to be. So I'm going to bring it out just about to there, not quite as long in this particular case. And then I'm going to narrow the tips. I'm going to grab each fingertip, and I will just middle scale each one down just a little bit. Like so. And now I need to start rounding these off a little bit. If I go ahead and grab an edge and I try to round, you'll see that I don't have enough material to make this any rounder. It's just going to collapse. So I need to cut an edge loop through. But we also need to keep in mind the number of points that we're going to have to connect our hand to our arm here. So we have, let's see, on this we have 12 points. And then on our hand we have 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so there's 10 points here, which means we need to add a cut through this way along the fingers. I'm going to go grab my multi-cut tool, hold down Control, and that's going to give us a central cut along the fingers. Awesome. And then I also want to cut down the tip of the finger. Okay. So I'm going to hold down the Control key, and I'm going to go down the middle of each finger. So 1, and then 2, and 3, and then on my pinky. Okay, very good. Now this cut gives us the 12 points that we need, but these cuts give us some extra slices that we don't need. So on the back of the hand, we're going to clean those up. So I'm going to come back here, and I'll grab my merge vertex tool, or target weld, and grab him. I'm going to be in edge mode, and I'm just going to take this edge here from back here. I'm going to merge it this way. I'm going to take this one and merge it this way. Then I go this way, this one to here, and then this one back. Very good. And now we should have enough points to connect our hand to our wrist. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 points to 12 points. That should work out very nicely. Let's go ahead and round off our fingers. I'm going to hit Q to get rid of my tool. And then I'm going to go into edge mode. And I grab the edges on this finger. You can grab multiple edges at a time if you like. I'm going to grab this one, that one, and then the one below it. I'll do that on the tips as well. There we go. So I got these 4. I'm not grabbing these back ones, and you'll see why in just a second. I'm going to hit the scale tool, so R, and I'm going to middle scale back just a little bit, and that's going to round the finger off. Very good. I'm going to do that for each one. So I'll go ahead and grab these. So again, the 4 on the top, and then the 4 on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then R to scale, and then drag it back to the left. Looks good. And the next one. Grab these 4, and then scale back. And then grab these 4. And then scale those back. Very good. I'm going to go into my top view, just take a look at what we have. Okay. Now you can see as we scaled those back, we did bend the edges along the middle of the finger. So really easy. I'm going to just go ahead and double click each one and then scale forward. I'll just double click that one, scale it forward. Rinse and repeat each one. Double click, scale forward, double click, scale forward. Looks pretty good. I'll adjust the spacing on my fingers right here. You can see that the ring finger is kind of bunched next to the pinky. So vertex mode. And then I'm going to go in and grab the vertices around the ring finger. Be very careful not to grab the pinky over here. And I want to get these ones in the back as well. So I'm going to use zoom in a little bit close here, and then hold shift. I'm going to grab this one, the middle, and then this one. So now I have all the vertices on this finger, and that should be all the way through. So if I go into perspective, I can see the bottom here. I'm just going to move that over some, give me a little bit more space. Just check your other fingers, make sure that they're a good amount of space between each one. There's the middle. Get this one. And that looks pretty good. I'll grab these. And I'll scale forward. Scale forward. And the way we're going to round the tips is we're just going to extrude and make a smaller section. So let's go to face mode. Grab these 4 faces here. Hit the extrude button. And this time I'm going to pull the arrow just a little bit. And I'm going to hit the box. And then I will grab the scale that's on my extrusion widget. And I'll pull that in. Like that. And I'll do that for these as well. Now, pro tip, when you're using an extrusion, you can do multiple at the same time. So I'll just go ahead and grab these. And I will extrude, pull the blue arrow forward some, hit the box, and then I will extrusion scale. And that should give me an even on each finger. Very good. Adjust that just a little bit. And then I'll go into vertex mode. And I'll grab the points on each one. And I will pull those forward just a little bit for a little bit more roundness. Good enough. Okay. So now that we have our fingers, it's time to make a space for the thumb. The easiest way to make the thumb is to copy one of your fingers. So I'll go to the top view. Go into face mode. Select the faces of a finger that you think is good. So I'll go ahead and grab the index finger here. Hold down the shift key, right click, go down to duplicate face, like so. You'll get this kind of widget. Don't pull anything, just go ahead and click out. Go to object mode, and then select. Now if you happen to grab the wrong thing, just kind of click again. Grab the move tool here. I will center pivot using this little icon, and I'll move this in the position of the thumb. So this one's going to come out here, and then I'll move it back to about there. Okay, go ahead and move this into the down position, about where the thumb is going to be. Okay, let's go ahead and scale these fingers and this thumb to fit its reference. So I'll go into vertex mode. I'm going to grab all the way through the hand here. Grab our fingers, and then let's go ahead and scale them up. Then keep on going. I'll move them back, move them down. I'll grab the knuckles right about there. Be careful you're not grabbing too far forward. I'm going to move these up. Very good. The same thing for the thumb. Vertex mode. I'm going to scale up this part of the thumb here. I'll move it into position. Okay. So we should have something like this. Okay. And this is going to attach right about here. To attach this, you'll see that we have 2 slices right about there. So we're going to need 2 slices going this way. I'm going to go ahead and add in a slice using my multi-cut tool. So I'm going to add a slice in the back of the hand. But you can see, because I have triangles up here, it doesn't want to cut all the way through. So I'm going to go into my front view. And instead of using the control key, I'm going to hold down Shift and then middle mouse and then drag. So I'm dragging with middle mouse, holding Shift. I'll just go ahead and cut. I'll do the same thing right about here. Hold down Shift, middle mouse, and then drag the cut, like so. And that should give us a cut all the way through the hand. Very good. Now that we have a place to put our thumb, we'll go ahead and attach it. Now, one thing I'm going to recommend is not actually doing it from down here. And the reason for that is, again, in this particular image, the thumb's down here, but that's not the best angle to animate from. That thumb, if you look from the screen, hopefully you can see that, the thumb is basically down here. And if you model something in a bent position, it's going to get stuck that way. It's kind of like when your mom or your grandma says, if you make a face like that, it'll get stuck. Yeah, that's kind of the way it works with modeling. If you model it in a certain position, it's a lot harder if there's already a curve in it to get rid of that curve than if you were to make it straight and then put the curve in. So I'm going to move the thumb up closer to the hand. So make sure you're in object mode. Grab your thumb, move it up a bit closer to the hand here. Talk to the hand. I'm going to move it out just a little bit. So to be clear, I'm not following this picture exactly because this is just going to be a problem to model. And then from here, I'm going to go into face mode and take these 4 faces. Go ahead and hit extrude. I'm going to pull these out, and I'm going to hit the little square here, and then grab the middle one, shrink that down. It's going to give me a little spot to attach. I want to remove these faces, so go ahead and hit delete. Grab your thumb, grab your hand, make sure you're in object mode. We're going to hit the combine tool. So now these are bound, but we have to sew them together. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the target weld tool. And then I'm going to go from the thumb to the hand here. I'm going to pick an angle that's going to be easier to work from. So if we do from the outside to here, we won't be able to see on the inside. So I'm going to go from the inside first. So here to there. This one to there. And then there. You have to start closing this part, so this part to here. I'm not going to cross over because that's going to create an issue. I'm going to go ahead and go from here to there. And then these three are going to go here. So find a good angle, this one to that one, this one to that one, and then this one to that one. Now this does create a weird spot, but we're going to fix this. So I'm going to go into the top view, hit Q to turn the tool off, and now we can take this part of the hand. So I'm going to grab these. I'm going to move this out, and we want to help this curve. So I'm going to hit the rotate tool, so E, and then rotate. And then I'll move it into position, just trying to help the shape of the thumb here. I'll just move the tip back a little bit, move this back a little bit, go back into my perspective view, just take a look. And then down here under the thumb, you can see it's kind of pinched. We're just going to help those out. Grab this one, I'll pull it down, this one down. And we'll do that with the palm. We'll pull some of these down as well. Okay, good enough. So now we have a hand that we can work with. And then for the back of the hand, we are going to extrude this so that we have a little bit of space before we attach it to the wrist. So let's go into face mode. I'm going to grab these back faces. So these 8 faces here. Grab them. We don't need the back of the thumb, that's a separate piece. I'm going to hit the extrude tool, and then W, move this back. Okay, I'm going to jump into my front view here. And then from our reference, we can see that our fingers are still a little bit weird for the length. So I'm going to pull these back, and then I'm going to expand the entire hand to fill the space. So let's actually go to the top view. I'm going to pull these fingers back. So vertex mode. I'm going to grab all the fingers through the hand. I'll just pull these back, and I'll pull these ones back. Pull these back. And all I'm doing is just, I'm going to shrink this down so it makes it easier to expand everything out. And I think I'll do the thumb, just tighten it up a little bit more. Like so. And the whole reason I'm doing this is so that when I go into my front view here, I can go into my scale mode, and then I can scale it out. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the D key. I'm going to hold down V. I'm going to drag this back to about there, and then press D. That's going to lock it in. And now I'm going to scale it. So hit R for scale, and I'll grab the middle scale, and I'm going to scale out. And this is going to get me a lot closer to the shape of the hand here. I'm going to move the hand forward just a little bit, so go to object mode, move that forward, and then for this part of the glove, I'm going to do this as part of this part, just because this is already round, and it'll be a little bit easier. So I'm going to go grab my multi-cut tool, hold down Control, and then put a cut into here. Hit Q to turn off our tool, go to vertex mode. Let's grab this part of the wrist. I'll move that forward. Then I'll grab this part, move that forward, like that. And then face mode. I'm going to select this face, shift, double click the next one. That's going to give me this ring. Hit extrude. And then let's pull out the blue arrow. Go to my 4 view just so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, that looks like it's close enough. I'm going to hit the box, and then grab the middle, and then scale back. Let's take a look at our 4 view. It looks pretty good. All right. So now it's time to start rounding this hand off a little bit better, just so we can fit this shape. So let's start down here. I'm going to grab these points. Just very gently move these so I can round them out. So down, we have these points back here. I'll move these down. This one, or these 3, I guess. Move these down. Round out parts of the thumb here. Okay. Looks like it's going to be close enough. We're going to take the faces on the back of the hand. We're going to remove those. So face mode. Select these faces. Delete them. And now we're going to combine the hand to the arm here. So object mode. Grab both. Hit combine. Now we're going to take our target weld tool and start sewing this on. So we're going to go from the hand to here. So I'm going to look for the center, which is this guy. So that to there. I just go around. Again, if you make a mistake, just hit Control-Z. And we got this one and then that one. Okay, now that that's together, let's go into our front view. And then select the vertices of the hand up to here. We can move that back. And I'll just move it down so it's more even. Now again, it does not fully match this layout of the glove. That's intentional. Okay, let's go into our perspective view. And let's finish rounding this off. Back here on the thumb, it looks like we can take these in, this one and this one. This corner can probably come down. This corner is a bit sharp, but I'm going to leave that. I'm going to come over to here, and let's do the side of the hand. Pull these in. And pull them up. It's a little bit better. Let's grab these. Down and in. A little better. Okay, I think that's pretty good. That's going to wrap it for this video. In the next one, we will start working on the head. Save your work, and I shall see you next time. Hey guys, thanks for checking out my channel. Misty and I both thank you. If you enjoyed the video you just watched, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. Also, we are at 1,500 subscribers. Woo! That is awesome possum. Rocket Flip is out if you have not taken a look at my latest devlog. It is in open beta testing, so if you want to grab a copy and test it out, see how it plays, leave some feedback. It really helps me out. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I shall see you next time.